being unwanted, unloved, uncared for, forgotten by everybody. I think that is a much greater hunger, a much greater poverty than the person who has nothing to eat. It fits to begin expressing what I learned with what I already knew, and this quote by Mother Teresa is a fair representation of the understanding I had carried into this course. It is that in the many faces of homelessness, there exists immeasurable value and inconceivable purpose. This is the foundation that many have, a foundation that seeks to purge our judgments and any mindsets that position us somehow better than another, and maybe much better than someone who is homeless. The question now is, what do we build upon such a foundation? This course extended my understanding of the issues surrounding homelessness and revealed the complexity in just how to go about addressing it. How I see that complexity now is that homelessness is an economic and political issue, with the lack of affordable housing, with today's low incomes not being able to keep the pace of increasing living costs, leaving minimum wage workers unable to afford necessities like food, shelter, and medical care, and as an issue reeling from federal cuts towards housing programs for low-income families and the mentally ill. Homelessness is also a social issue, especially considering the role that the family plays, seen through the significant presence of homeless youth due to family dysfunction that often comes in the form of neglectful parents, physical or sexual abuse, family substance abuse, and violence, as well as the many youth who have conflicts with their parents surrounding the child's sexual orientation. And homelessness is a health issue, being both a cause and a result of homelessness. There is mental illness, drug addiction, and alcoholism, as well as the countless physical illnesses and conditions that are difficult to treat because of the barriers. Barriers like not having the money to pay for care, lack of insurance, transportation, and not having personal identification. It is worth mentioning one specific area of interest that grabbed my attention throughout this course, particularly through my past volunteer experiences at shelters and homeless agencies, as well as researching for and writing our homelessness paper. And that area of interest is family dysfunction, for this is often the most dynamic and volatile player in homelessness, especially among youth. This is where my heart lies, and though I understand that in these circumstances, parents and caregivers often do not have the emotional tools or tangible resources to give to their child to support and care for them, it is heart-wrenching and sometimes infuriating to think that youth leave their homes, not for romanticized adventure, but because their homes have become so unbearable, so full of abuse, neglect, or violence, that there is no other choice but to leave. In other cases, a child or adolescent leaves because they are forced out. In light of this, there arises a personal question. As America continues to experience dramatic changes and breakdown in the family, with divorce being commonplace, how can I, or the government, businesses, and nonprofit organizations think or act proactively to meet the needs of a vulnerable yet valuable population of homeless? It's not just what will we do to make the unwanted, unloved, uncared for, forgotten by everybody's, wanted, cared for, and remembered, but also how can we repair and build families, giving them the tools and resources they need to prevent any more from becoming homeless.